All right, let's talk about Tua, who I gotta say, listen, Tua's played a lot of good games in his career. I think he's put together a stretch that may be better than any other stretch he's had, and that's saying something. He's had great stretches in the league. He is playing outstanding so far. He's gotten the Dolphins to 5-6. Since coming back from the injury, he's been on fire. Let's talk about what he did well and what this entire Dolphins offense did so well in this game. Before I get into it, I will mention just 10 seconds real quick that I do have a movie channel. If you like watching movies, you can check that out. The link is in the description below. Jackson Kruger Movies is the name of the channel. But do some fun stuff on there. But let's talk about Tua. Starting off with the play you see on the screen, which is kind of the classic Dolphins play. They're not even running a play action here, but you have a receiver running a route that's going to go more over the middle. That's Jalen Waddle's route. You also have another receiver who's going to kind of just try to help draw some linebackers in. Watch. When this play begins, look at the linebackers over the middle of the field for New England. Hey, there's a guy over the middle. Let's not leave him wide open, because if we do, he can catch the ball, turn forward, and pick up a free 8 yards. Don't want to let that happen. But because they have now been drawn in, you look at Jalen Waddle, he's cutting over the middle, and now there's going to be a window for Waddle to be able to, make the grab. The way it could feel is if a New England defensive back who's covering deep can read this play and crash in, but Waddle's so fast, you're just not going to do that. And to make matters worse, Tua's already in the throwing motion. As you see, Tua is going to put that one right on the money. Waddle is able to make a nice move in open space too, pick up a good amount of yards. So good stuff by Waddle on top of it. I could probably, every video I think I've ever made with Tua, I've at one point said Tua's already into throwing motion. He gets rid of the ball so quick. And really, when this Dolphins offense is working, it's just such a well-oiled machine. Also heading over here, this is another good example. It's a Jonnu Smith play, actually. You see they're going to run a play action, and then Smith is going to just sort of leak out from the offense's right to the offense's left. Those routes are always so difficult to defend against because you had the play action to worry about. Then you realize it's a passing play. But, usually when you line up on defense, you're looking at the guys who are on your side of the field starting to play. So when they're on the other side of the field, it's just an added thing you have to realize. And here, when Tua, runs this play, you see for Jonnu Smith, he's getting open. A New England player actually doing a pretty good job of hanging with him, but there's just that little bit of space, and that's kind of all you need. It's Kyle Duggar. I'll give him credit. I think he's actually playing this well, but it's just such a good concept and so well executed, it doesn't matter. Tua is able to make a perfect throw to Smith, who makes a nice move, and they pick up a good amount of yards there. That's why this Dolphins offense can work. Is some offenses are almost predicated on finding your weaknesses. The Dolphins offense is pretty much, we have our strengths, and I don't care if you cover it well, we're still going to beat you because our strengths are that good. And that's what we're seeing on a play like this. It's really good stuff. And also, they just have this factor, which is they have really good receivers who can win. Like here, it's Jalen Waddle running a slant route on the outside in a one-on-one matchup. Tua takes the snap. He's going to, look over, and for Waddle, he's open. You can't really play man against this team because they have so many good receivers. Nobody really has the corners who can man up against these guys, right? As you see, Tua puts this one right on the money, and Waddle is able to pick up a really huge gain on that one. They were at the 41-yard line, get all the way inside the 25. That's a huge play, and it just looks so easy too, right? That's the main thing with the Dolphins, is when their offense is at its best, it just looks easy. This play is another one. It's Devon Achane who's going to be the guy here. It's man coverage. And again, there's so many things I watch with the Dolphins, and I'm just like, yeah, no defense is stopping this play. I get it's the Patriots. I get that, okay, maybe defenses would have done a better job stopping these plays, but still, this is a 3rd down and 3. That is the route Achane is running, which is, again, halfback. There's 2 halfbacks on this play. The one on the left is going to be running all the way towards the offense's right. It's so difficult to stop. They're even kind of setting up as though it's going to be a run to the left a little bit. Tua takes the snap. He looks over the middle, then goes to Achane, and it goes so quickly that you see, again, it's Kyle Duggar, who, I'll say this, they could be doing this better, right? This is not ideally what you want. New England tried to get a switch going because that's the only way you can stop this play, is no one's going to be able to cross the field and be able to keep up with Achane. But even if you could, the ball comes out quickly enough. And also, got to give shout out to the offensive linemen for not going too far down the field, making sure you don't get a penalty, being around the line of scrimmage when the ball is getting caught. Then he runs out, and honestly, I don't even know if he needed to be run out, but he's, if he was needed, he would have been there. So good job by all of the Dolphins. Again, not the best defense on this play, but it's understandable because this is such a good play. You also have this where I brought up Jalen Waddle. I got to bring up Tyreek Hill too. This is the really good one where it's a zone coverage concept. You have Hill's going to be running a route, trying to get underneath the safety who is covering deep. And when this play begins, that's an easy thing for Hill to do because Hill's running deep. You got to stay deep with him. Second he cuts, there's always going to be space there. It feels like he can get these plays in his sleep almost. And for Tua, the ball is already nearly there. I mean, these guys have such good chemistry. Tua does put this one right on the money. They're able to pick up a big gain, get inside the 5-yard line. They actually didn't score a touchdown on this drive. Had to settle for a field goal, but still, a good play nonetheless for the Dolphins. And they were just getting these plays so easily. And this play is really the quintessential Dolphins play, right? It really is. I mean, it's not that different than what other teams do, where you're running a play action and then you're going to have a receiver run an over the middle route. But what the Miami Dolphins do, which is different than every other team, is watch what happens. Tua takes the snap. He looks over right here, and you see that Jalen Waddle on this play, there's a window for Tua to make this throw, right? There definitely is. But what I find interesting about how the Dolphins do this is how quick they make the throw. You see Tua's already in the throwing motion. Usually you kind of wait until the player gets more over the middle of the field, kind of that second gap. The Dolphins like to attack the first throwing window. That's what Tua does. He gets it there, and then Jalen Waddle makes Kyle Duggar miss. Poor Kyle Duggar. I mean, he's doing his best out there against these really good Dolphins receivers, but it is what it is. I mean, it's Jalen Waddle. Join the club. He beats everybody, right? So it's really good stuff here. So yeah, I mean, listen, this stuff is really good. And I know that, I mean, at the end of the day, they are going to always have the can they beat a great team until they beat a great team thing over their head, right? It is what it is. They're always going to have the can they do this in the big moments in the playoffs until they do it in the big moments in the playoffs. And they got to get there because they're in a bit of a bind right now, right? But at the same time, I mean, part of what they're going to have to do to get into the playoffs is be able to win against teams they should be able to win against. And as of right now, it's looking like they should have no issue doing that. So the Dolphins are still in a really, I wouldn't say a great spot to make the playoffs, but they have a real chance here for sure if they can continue to play the way they're playing right now. Tua kind of quietly having his best season. Obviously, it sucks that he missed the games he missed, but you take that out, he's been playing great. So yeah, those are my thoughts. What are yours? Let me know in the comments below. Always love hearing from y'all. And of course, as always, thanks for watching.